What is up, Richmond Rillaboom fans? We are back with our week 2 team builder of the RGBL, and this week we are going against our opponent, the Goodnight Cresselia. Now, this is one of those nightmare matchups, man, where I have gone through so many iterations of this team. Really racking my brain in team building and in mock battles. Um, you can see on the screen here our lineup, in case you forgot, as well as our opponent's lineup down in the bottom right corner. And um, yeah, what is making this match so difficult is that they just have a very well balanced team, and um, it's very hard for me to predict this week what Pokemon my opponent is going to bring. Um, they have some really good answers for like revenge killing my Iron Boulder, which is my top threat, right? And likely, the first thing that my opponent is going to be thinking about when team building. So defensive answers. Well, let's look at their lineup first. Their team consists of Iron Valiant, Heatran, Garchomp, Weezing Galar, Decidueye, Milotic, Thundurus, Hoopa Unbound, Basculin, Furret, and Girafarig. And the Terra captains that they have on their team are Basculin, Furret, and Decidueye. So right off the bat, they have some pretty good defensive answers for Iron Boulder, being like Garchomp would be his likely main rock move switch in. Um, he's got Heatran, which is always a solid defensive mon. He's got Weezing Galar, which is very bulky on the physically defensive side, and a great check to pretty much hard walls my Rillaboom. Um, and he's got Milotic, which is just super bulky as well. So Milotic seems like a really solid and likely answer for something to be able to take hits from Iron Boulder, and also to I definitely expect like a Haze set to try to deal with my Manaphy in case I'm bringing like a Tail Glow or Calm Mind Manaphy. Um, so he's got some really good defensive answers, but offensively as well, his Terra captains especially have great potential to use as like a offensive check to Iron Boulder, as far as something to come in and revenge kill it, prevent it from sweeping it. It's like an Iron Boulder sweep does not really look like it's in the cards this week, because he's got things like Thundurus, which can be Prankster T-Wave to paralyze me and reduce my speed, make it easy for other things to revenge kill. But also he's got the Terra Captains, Decidueye and Basculin, which if they bring Terra Water or Terra Ghost, both of those are super effective into my Iron Boulder, and both of those mons have stab priority moves and Shadow Sneak from Decidueye and Aqua Jet from Basculin, to just be able to bring those things in, whether they're like choice banded or um, just like a strong set to kind of blow back my Iron Boulder. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much not gonna be able to like set up a Swords Dance's sweep this week. So knew that coming in. Um, but yeah, it's just really hard to predict what six he's gonna bring. Basculin and Decidueye would definitely make sense again for those revenge killing. Thundurus makes a lot of sense for my Manaphy. I definitely expect Thundurus, definitely expect my Milotic, and Garchomp, because that thing just looks good into my team. Garchomp's always good. And I definitely expect Weezing as well, as a potential like defogger, but also just like I said, it just hard walls my Rillaboom, and it could potentially like uh, take some hits from other things. It's also got Levitate, so it can, you know, switch in on those ground moves from my Iron Treads. So this is just a tough matchup, man. Like, besides like Iron Valiant, Garchomp, Weezing, Milotic, Thundurus, I definitely expect those things, but like I have no idea if he's going to bring Decidueye or Heatran or Hoopa or Basculin as like that 6 mon. So I'm starting off the team builder this week with our Iron Treads, Megadon. Um, this is going to be my lead, my dedicated lead set. I've got Stealth Rocks, Ice Spinner, Rapid Spin, and Volt Switch. I definitely Stealth Rocks really help in this matchup to be able to just chip things down and get things into position where some of my breakers can remove things. He's got a very bulky team, so I need all the help I can get with just um, reducing things health, forcing him to switch, hopefully with some momentum moves and things. And if I can get up rocks like turn one, great. I've got the Shookaberra on there as my item this week, so that in case I am facing a Garchomp as the lead on his end, I can just safely stay in and click Ice Spinner to try to knock that thing out early. If I can remove Garchomp early, that's great. Again, it's like one of his best switch-ins to Iron Boulder, so either killing it or doing a lot of damage to it early on will really help my Iron Boulder to be able to break things and to be able to kill things. And I've got Volt Switch to be able to pivot out on Milotic, and I've got Rapid Spin. So I really hate that I have kind of like 4 move syndrome. I really obviously would love to have a ground move. I would love to have a steel move for Weezing, but I just felt like I couldn't fit it. And Rapid Spin is really important this week because he has rocks and Garchomp can set up spikes. Um, so I really don't want to be facing a situation like mid game where there's multiple spikes up and rocks on the field, or even potentially like toxic spikes, and I can't get rid of them. So I have to have Rapid Spin, and this just feels like overall the best set that I can have. So Iron Treads is really there to like potentially help me remove Garchomp and get some momentum with Volt Switch and potentially remove hazards. So let's go to our next set, and this is a crazy set. So I landed on the nickname Bonky Kong for my Rillaboom. Very proud of that nickname. We were struggling to find a nickname in the team analysis, but this is a weird set, man, and I had to get real creative with this because, like I said, I was just running into a situation where I kept getting like really hardwalled by Weezing, but I felt like I needed Rillaboom this week to have something that can at least somewhat deal with Garchomp, and also something to come in on my Milotic and like threaten it. Now you notice like I don't really have a big grass move to hit my Milotic, but he's not going to know that. So my plan is if I can get up rocks early and I can pivot out early game at some point to bring Rillaboom in on my Milotic and set up a substitute. So I've got substitute, leech seed, boom burst, and knockoff. So usually anytime you see a Rillaboom set up substitute, you're going to be expecting leech seed. But his very likely switch into this is the Weezing. So I needed something to be able to deal with that Weezing and to be able to like catch him off guard, hopefully, because I didn't want to just be sitting there and be forced to switch out every time that came in. So I am bringing Boom Burst on this with the Throat Spray, which because Boom Burst is a sound move, when I click that, it will raise my special attack by 1. So against a physically defensive Weezing, Boom Burst will 2-hit KO that thing after the first hit, and then the next hit being +1, I'll be able to kill it in 2 hits. So my plan is set up a substitute against Milotic. He probably will bring in Weezing, and then from there, just click Boom Burst and like do a ton of damage to it. he either has to stay in and let it die, or likely after I click Boom Burst, he either goes into uh, Heatran or Decidueye. And so I really can't know which one he's going to bring. I originally had high horsepower on this instead of knockoff, but I was realizing, and Senya, Kyle talked about it in mocks, like without knockoff, if I just had high horsepower, like Decidueye, I can't do anything to Decidueye with this. And so I needed knockoff for Decidueye. So if that thing comes in, I can click knockoff, do some nice damage to it, remove its item, potentially take away like a choice band or something. And the cool thing is, after my throat spray is gone, like he won't be able to hit me with Poltergeist, and he might not really have anything to hit my Rillaboom with, so I can just kind of sit behind a sub and click knockoff, and hopefully like at least wear that thing down, or potentially even like 1v1 it, because he might not even be able to like break my sub. Um, and if Heatran comes in, I'll just be able to like remove that thing's item and sit behind a sub and leech seed it at least, and like wear it down, and then be able to like bring in Manaphy on it. So really weird Rillaboom set this week, but it's really there to like hopefully catch him off guard and potentially like wear down his very bulky defensive backbone early game, and just like this thing could be really annoying behind a sub with Leech Seed, and with that grassy terrain like giving me recovery. It did really well in my mock, so hoping it does well in the match. Again, I wish I had high horsepower to just like destroy Heatran if it does come in, but at least I should be able to outspeed Heatran, and I should be able to just still sit behind a sub, Leech Seed, knock off, at least wear it down some. Um, and then I have Manaphy. Manaphy is very bulky this week with Light Screen, Reflect, U-Turn, and Scald. I've got 252 HP, so like basically full investment in HP and almost like max speed to be able to outspeed some things. And I hinted at the team analysis that you guys might have to watch out for screens Manaphy, and here it is. Week 2, bring the light clay so that those screens last for 8 turns. He really might not have any kind of removal at all, so screens can be really, really helpful, again, for like being able to let certain things like Rillaboom, like Vikavolt, like my Iron Boulder, be able to take some hits and do a lot of damage in return. So because he will likely bring in Milotic, and if it's Haze, I can't really like break through that thing, even if I have like Energy Ball, Tail Globe. I just went ahead and like, okay, I'll just bring screens and use Manaphy to kind of like help set up other things. So if I can bring it in on Heatran or something else, like Garchomp or something, then I can get up screens hopefully and just U-turn out. Again, it's another way of maybe getting Rillaboom in on the Milotic. And if I can be behind screens and setting up those subs, even better. Next Pokemon that we will talk about is Moltres. Hot Wings or Moltres making its first appearance. So this thing has Flamethrower, Hurricane, U-Turn, and Roost. It generally looks pretty good against this team, except for like the Heatran and the like Garchomp potentially if it's running a rock coverage. Um, but this is really like my best switch into the Iron Valiant. It takes fighting moves, it takes fairy moves really well. I'm definitely expecting a special Iron Valiant, so he'll very likely have Thunderbolt for this thing, but I'm running enough like special defense to hopefully at least, if I'm healthy, like be able to take a Thunderbolt and maybe like kill it in return with Hurricane. But Roost just to like keep it healthy, heavy duty boost to be able to switch in on rocks and not just die. So yeah, this is really kind of like my best answer. Not even a great answer, but best thing that I have for um, for the Iron Valiant, and it also deals well with like Decidueye fairly well at least. It can switch in pretty easy on Wheezing as well, and the U-turn is again nice for like momentum. Um, so yeah, that is Moltres. And next we have Iron Boulder, which again, Brock, our Iron Boulder, getting pretty creative with this Iron Boulder set again because he has so many pretty good answers to it. I'm actually bringing a Power Herb Iron Boulder with Solar Blade, full attack, as much speed as I need to outspeed everything, and then just the rest in like HP. Um, but this Power Herb is so that I can click Solar Blade, which usually takes 2 turns to charge. But with Power Herb, I can just instantly click that Solar Blade, and hopefully, like if Milotic has just a little bit of chip damage, I can take that thing out. It will likely have to be pretty specially defensive for Manaphy. So if he wants to switch in Milotic, thinking that it can take hits from Iron Boulder, he will be in for a unpleasant surprise. So that would be great to be able to break that thing and just take out like his best like defensive pivot. And then the rest of the coverage, Mighty Cleave, just hits everything pretty well. It can take out the Thunderous and just does good damage to pretty much everything else. And Psycho Cut is there for the Wheezing and for Iron Valiant, and it's like my best thing to hit Garchomp. And then Earthquake is there for Heatran. So um, again, like this thing is really just serving as a breaker this week. If I can bring it in, like I can use it as a revenge killer to come in if like Garchomp is weakened or Heatran is weakened. I could come in and like either kill those things or threaten them out. And if he wants to go into Milotic, I can kill that thing. And then if Thunderous is his answer to come in and like click Prankster T Wave, then I might even be able to just like depending on how the game is going, it might be worth just taking that paralysis and killing Thunderous with the Mighty Cleave. Um, but if I'm behind screens, this thing can do well breaking. Like if I am behind screens, I can take a hit from one of those revenge killers like Basculin or Decidueye, especially if I've knocked off like a choice band or something. And I could do a lot of damage in return, and it outspeeds Iron Valiant. It's the only thing that I have that outspeeds Iron Valiant, so that's really important. You know, that's like one of the other things that I can come in and revenge kill, which I really need. And yeah, so this is really it's a good breaker here, but I have to kind of use the other team, use the momentum, and use the screens hopefully to get it in position late game or mid game to do that breaking, do its job. Last Pokemon, we got A Drive, the Vikavolt, making its second appearance. This is I had originally had enough speed to like outspeed Wheezing, but then I realized it wasn't taking Scalds very well from Milotic, and I want if I'm gonna bring this in on anything, like switch it in on anything, I'm gonna have to switch it in on Milotic probably. But with Terra Electric, this is Magnet Terra Electric Vikavolt. Again, like screens really help this thing come in and be able to take hits. It's got, I just ended up investing in HP um, instead of the speed really, just to be able to like take those skulls and it does even better taking hits if it's behind screens. So Thunderbolt with Terra Electric and Magnet just does a lot of damage. 2 hits KOs Heatran. He can't hit me super effective with fire attacks if I'm Terra Electric, and nothing can hit me super effective with that Terra Electric Levitate. So Volt Switch is very free if I'm in on a Milotic. If he wants to bring in Garchomp, I might be able to predict that and click Bug Buzz, because Bug Buzz 2 hit KOs Garchomp. Like even if it's like a bulky, like it will have to be like a bulky physical defense set if it's not offensive. So Bug Buzz should take it out in 2 hits. And yeah, in general, this is just something that can like come in and hopefully take a hit or two and do a lot of damage in return. And I just needed things that could do damage. And Volt Switch is very helpful here with that Terra Electric and Thunderbolt. If Garchomp is gone, Thunderbolt is super free and just like wrecks things. And there may be situations where I want to click Sticky Web to just help slow things down. So yeah, that is the team this week. Again, I'm very this matchup gave me a lot of headache. I'm really looking forward to just getting it over with and playing on Saturday. And I'll be uploading this team builder after the match on Saturday, and then I will upload the live battle probably on Sunday. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Help this channel grow. It's a brand new channel, but I'm going to be making a lot of fun draft league content, um, and I've got another video coming up where I'm going to talk about some of my like favorite cores. One of my favorite things about draft league is coming up with cool, creative, like offensive or defensive cores that I haven't seen many other people use. There's a lot of like very classic cores, like Garchomp Scizor or um, you know Clefable Celesteela or Clefable Skarmory, you know. Um, but I like to come up with cores that work really well together that that I haven't seen a lot of other people use. And I've got a cool video coming up for you guys, um, which will be featuring one of my favorite cores that I won two championships with, and I'll just be kind of showcasing that team, talking about why it works so well, and hopefully you guys will be able to try it out. So that is the team for this week. Wish me luck. I'm definitely gonna need luck. I'm gonna need to play really well. This guy has drafted a great team. Very hard to prep for. But I think we can grab a win as long as we kind of execute the game plan and do our best. And with a little bit of help from the hacks gods and just staying calm. If I can catch him off guard with the screens, Manaphy, and the crazy like throat spray, boom burst, Rillaboom set. Sometimes you can gain that advantage early game just by being unpredictable and kind of getting your opponent on tilt to where they're not playing at an optimal level and just feel flustered. So that's my hope with Manaphy and Rillaboom. They're kind of like key members of the team this week, and Vikavolt and Iron Boulder are really like my main damage dealers there. So Iron Tread's really just a utility guy this week, getting up rocks, and that's the game plan. So without being super long-winded, I'm gonna try to be better about not taking forever on my videos. But yeah, make sure you comment below if you are enjoying these videos, and let me know. And one other thing I would say about this matchup, like there was many iterations of this team. There were a handful of other Pokemon that I wanted to bring, which I won't talk about too much because I might end up facing this guy again in playoffs, and so I don't want to reveal too much of my other ideas. But yeah, a lot of this is going to come down to what six does he actually end up bringing. I hope he brings a six that I am kind of expecting, but it very much could go a bunch of different ways, and so I just got to kind of keep my fingers crossed. Hope we planned for the right things. But yeah, with that, I'll be signing off, and I will see you guys on the live battle. Peace.